Just getting back from North Carolina, marrying off my son. That's number 6 out of 8. That's out of the nest and married. Thank God for a beautiful wedding. Pray for God to bless Matt and Samantha. But after the wedding, my wife and I took a little side trip from Greensboro over to Charlotte, and stopped in at the Billy Graham Library. It's like a museum. And spent almost 5 hours there. I don't know if you guys have been or not, but quite a place. You know, Billy Graham touched millions of people's lives. He preached for nearly 70 years. At one point, he was offered, Hollywood was coming after him. He was offered opportunities in movies, and Hollywood opportunities were knocking his door. He turned everything down. He had lots of lucrative things coming at him. He turned them all down. He said he would preach the gospel as long as God gave him breath. And one of the things that struck me the most probably was an interview at the end of his life, last interview that he ever had. He was asked this question: if you could go back and do something different, would you do it? What would you do? You know, Billy Graham said, I absolutely would make changes. And I thought for a second, here's a guy that he was the pastor of presidents and of kings and queens. And I mean, he was like a royal guy, royalty in his own right. You know what he said? He said, I absolutely would change some things. He said, I would take less meetings and I would spend more time studying and praying. I thought, wow, that is such a nugget. So many times I think as a pastor and as people in general, we focus on the thing that's next on the agenda, instead of realizing the most important thing. As Jesus shares with Mary and Martha, Martha is doing all the stuff, right? She's busy in the Christian activity, serving. Where's Mary? Mary's sitting at Jesus' feet, listening to his word, worshiping him. And you know what Jesus said? He said, one thing is needful. He said it's what Mary's doing right now. Everything else may be important, but there's one thing that trumps all of it. That's sitting at Jesus' feet. And I would say, whether you're a Christian or not, you know, and I trust that one day you will understand how good Jesus is and what he did on the cross to die for our sins. But you know, the truth is, I think it was Abraham Lincoln, one of the presidents, that said this. He said, if you're gonna chop down a tree, spend twice as much time sharpening the axe as you do cutting on the tree. And I think that's the thing that we need to do. We need to sharpen our axe. The way that a Christian does that is spending time with God. The way that you do it in business, listen, spend time reading, spend time learning, training. All these things are going to make you successful, especially when it comes to eternity. Get to know Jesus. Get to know God. Spend time in prayer, Bible study. Hey, stay humble. Pray hard.